I'm Rezlar.
I'm Frosty.
As nobody's really engaged quite yet.
Yep. Oh, there we have a bit of. Oh, is that a triple stud for the Mystic?
And welcome back to the Value Pack. Welcome back, everybody. We're back. One day delay because of Father's Day. If you didn't know that that's what was happening, then join the Discord. What are you doing? Discord is the only way that you're going to know if we're having any delays, if we're skipping a week, anything like that. So make sure you join the Discord. And you'll also get... Whoa, fly. Whoa, in my room. You'll also get to know if we're doing any like community night activities like we did a while back. Didn't have a huge turnout. Frosty was super depressed. He was talking about how he didn't even want to do the podcast anymore because nobody even came to our community night, but I convinced him to keep going, so no worries. We're still going strong here. No.
Nobody came. Dude, the best people came. The people that didn't come are the ones that I don't want to deal with anymore.
That's true, actually. Sphero and Nyashi both came, and Sphero could only hang out for a little while, but he came for maybe like an hour or so. And we actually got to see Sphero and Nyashi fight. We got to see Frosty on his tamer fight both of them. It was a couple interesting fights. They fought for a good while, but special thanks to them for coming out, because out of all the people that I thought might show up, they were not on that list. Especially Nyashi, he hung out for a really long time. No shade throwing towards Sphero though. Sphero also came out, and it was really fun. We'll probably do it again, maybe in a couple weeks. And maybe see if more people turn up. Same people turn up, that's fine too. We made a new friend who learned some DK combos and then instantly forgot them about 3 hours later. So that was pretty fun. But yeah, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, just kind of like hanging out and enjoying BDO with us, make sure you join the Discord so you can get to know when all that stuff goes down. I feel like I've said a lot in the past however long we've been recording. I feel like I've said it too much.
You're not very professional. I've always said this.
Whatever. You're not professional either. Anyway, we're moving on. We got comments. 17 comments on the last video. Almost 700 views. Wow. Growing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Growing. I'm so thankful for everybody checking us out. Make sure you're sharing with all the peoples that you can possibly share with. I think more people like this sort of format than they know. Like, I think people are like, well, why would I care about what these two random dudes talk about? Like, man, it's just chill. You get to just, relax, enjoy the conversation, and be a part of it, So make sure you share it with all your friends. First comment we got is Flair. He says, great podcast as always. It was fun to see Rezlar struggle with the registering pets at 133. Still better than League gameplay. Hey, listen. First of all, for some reason, I don't know why, for some reason, on the Global Test Lab, it would not let me use regular characters as a name. It kept saying special characters are not allowed. I'm like, dude, I'm typing English. What do you mean, brother? And what was even more frustrating was I was looking at streamers, because there was a bunch of people streaming Shy Gameplay as well. They all had pets, and they all had normal names with English letters. So why was the game specifically not allowing me to use the pets? I was a little upset when I found that out. A little upset. Also, screw you, Flair. League gameplay. You need 2 weeks where there's not BDO in the background. I'm never gonna live it down.
It was a rough 2 weeks for all of us.
So, you know what I'm gonna do? Maybe, yeah, you know what? No, not this podcast, because you have an out for this podcast, because I have to put something else up on the screen. Next podcast, if I'm allowed to do it by, like, our topics, it's going to be the Black Spirit Adventure on repeat. That's all you're going to see.
Yeah, I actually am in with that, dude.
That's all it's going to be.
That's been in my band. I've always had this idea for a music video where we play the song over a still image of mayonnaise.
What?
And I think the Black Spirit Adventure would be just as awesome, dude.
Yeah, so if we don't have anything topic-wise, what we talk about that has to go on screen for the next podcast, like we do for this podcast, we actually have something that is going to be going up on screen, so it's going to be a cop-out, so I don't want to give you guys that. next podcast is literally just going to be Black Spirit Adventure on repeat. It's just going to be the same role on repeat. Don't think I'm gonna record multiple roles. It's going to be one role over and over and over again, looped for however long we talk. So get ready for that. It's BDO gameplay at its finest.
If you're lucky, it'll be the little lotto wheel that scrolls to see what you get.
Small Dick Stole Your Girl said, no one is crying about Witch and Wizard and saying they need buffs to be better in 1v1. Yes, they are. Stop putting words in my mouth. The guy is sitting here pretty much saying Witch and Wizard are good in 1v1 and trying to play up Wizard and Witch 1v1. When you even said yourself, Witch and Wizard are pretty bad compared to other classes in 1v1. Yes, they are. So here's the thing, right? He says other things as well. He says they're too good GVGs. They shouldn't be as good in 1v1. They're not good compared to most classes, etc., etc. Okay, so here's the thing. That's true. And the fact that you're saying, like, they shouldn't be good in 1v1 is also true. And maybe I don't remember exactly what I said, but I wasn't even necessarily referencing you. There are people that are saying that Witch and Wizard need to be better in 1v1. That's just a fact. I see them weekly. I deal with them weekly. Like, they're out there. Trust me. There's not a lot of them, but they do exist. And that might not be you, and that's chill if that's not you. And, all due respect, but those people do exist. And I don't want more people jumping on that bandwagon. So, I don't know. It's just, whatever.
I want them to be good at 1v1. Yeah. I'm fine with it.
See, this is the guy I was talking about when I said I have to deal with them weekly. This is it.
I have no problem with it. It's fine. Who cares if they're good at 1v1? Be better. I mean, as long as they're not like ninjas, Yeah. Can you imagine? Can you imagine if Wizard was S tier 1v1 also?
Yeah.
How scary that would be?
Well, I mean, no, I guess their scaling isn't good enough at soft cap. I was trying to think if there is any ability that a wizard could just grapple you and then one skill you, but I don't think there is, so ninja's still better. Serpent Ascension is OP. Kamikaze says, hi guys, great podcast as always, love the different guests you have on. So do I. Reflected good thoughts on their own classes and others as well makes this the best place for BDO content on YouTube in my opinion. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. One thing I want to ask you about though is the focus of best at, quote unquote, many players have. If you see forums or talk to other players, there is always this, since my class isn't number 1 at PvE, it sucks and needs buffs. For instance, Mystics have long been the god tier for Hystria together with Sork, and now Archer as well has claimed one of the top 3 spots for the hardest in-game spots. But what about all the rest? It feels like the most thing that classes either has is to be number 1 at something or it's not even worth mentioning. This also translates into PvP. For Flex Team, Musa and Maywa do similar stuff, but Musa has more spend to win stuff, and therefore is viewed as superior to a point where Maywa isn't even an option, but Maywa is just as hard, if not harder to deal with in those small 5 to 15 man clashes. Any thoughts on this insane focus people have on what's the best? Because the rest is trash mentality. Thanks again for the great content. Much love from Norway. Which I don't think is a part of the EU. I can't remember our lesson from a few episodes back. I don't think Norway is part of the EU.
No, it's part of Asia. Everyone knows that.
So it's min-maxing, right? Here's the thing about BDO. It's filled with a bunch of fucking nerds. And those fucking nerds min-max literally every ounce of everything in this game. So if you're not playing the best at whatever you are enjoying doing, then you're going to be looked at as stupid, even if you maybe prefer a different class as a whole, right? So, and that's a lot of people. Again, not everybody, but a lot of people. I think it's just min-maxing. I don't know, Frosty, what are your thoughts?
I think a lot of it actually, I mean, yes, min-maxing is definitely a factor because everyone wants to min-max, but I think a lot of it is if you're at the top, you're a reference point for everybody else, and then if you're at the bottom you're bad. But I don't think necessarily like people that aren't, so for example, if you're a wizard today, you're probably not going to get talked about as much anymore when it comes to like Hystria. You're going to hear more Kunos complaining, and then when the Kunos are complaining, they're referencing Mystic and everyone else. But I think being in the middle is okay. It's just when you play the class and you're at the bottom, it sucks and you complain about it, so you hear those classes complain. And those classes also complain about the people that are at the top. When you're at the middle, it's kind of like, it's fine. I think it's okay. That's why you don't really hear about them as much, because they're like, a lot of people are content with the middle. Like Zerkers, you don't hear about Zerkers, and in history outside of I Am Choice, like Zerkers like a slight tier below Mystic and Archer, but it's not like they don't need to roll a Mystic alt to make money there, you know? So you're not really going to hear them complain about grinding Histria. Whereas Kuno is like, I'm getting 1,000 less trash every hour than my friends. This is awful. So yeah, I think that's a big part of it. And same thing, I mean, in PvP, it's also like the people at the top and the bottom are the ones that are either frustrated or the most frustrating. The people in the middle are just, you kind of forget about them because they're not as extreme or polarizing.
Yep.
That's my psychology 97 class. If you pass it, you can actually take a basic psychology class.
Yeah. When do I get to I'm really looking forward to my White Knighting 101 class. When do I get to take that?
Oh, dude, you're not even remote. You have so many years of summer school to do before you can even talk about that. Yeah.
Damn, that sucks. There's so many more pearls I need to buy before I get access to that class. Piotr says, Archer is king. I don't deny that. I enjoy PvE like Frosty, parentheses, no joke. It's not a joke. It's just a lie. I wouldn't be playing the class still if it was bad at PvE. I had a Mystic alt for grinding. I know they're god of PvE. Still behind Mystic, though, lol. I just think they're not OP in PvP. Still strong, I won't deny that. I'm sad they are buffing Poly because it's actually sleeper OP. I won't tell people why, because for now it's still one of my favorite spots to grind, mostly SP, like Rezlar said, but still. If it gets infested like Gahaz, I will no longer like it, I feel. Shira is another spot people overlook. I believe it has the second highest Marty Stone EXP per turn-in, and it's fantastic for SP. I grinded there from 60 to 62, minor pauses for Ackman / Crescents. 103 soils, no ring, by the way. And well, you got 100, so you did get a ring, liar. Grats. It's great for SP. I was SP soft cap before I hit 61, and when I hit 62, I was almost 2k SP on my Archer. Got a lot of stacks from there. I really wish the 40 fell stack per skill fossil turn-in was a thing during that time. They drop like candy on Arsha. If Frosty ever wants Arsha lessons for when he rolls off Tamer onto Archer, I'm up for it. Have a lot of knowledge and time on the class. Enjoy being helpful. I should start asking for plugs every time you say my name on the podcast, though. I came up quite a bit. Nose was very itchy on Sunday, and now I know why. Frosty will never play Archer because it doesn't have a pair of tits. That's just fact.
I don't get, where's this meme coming from?
Because it's all, you only play girl classes, dude. Only.
In fairness, the Tamer also does not have a pair of tits.
You talk, dude, whenever they came out with trial characters for like a month, all you did was talk about how much fun Ninja is, and oh my god, it's so strong and so fun, and I could definitely re-roll this class. Here we are months later. You have spent probably $1,000 on reroll coupons. Not once have you even thought or mentioned going Ninja. Why? It's not because you don't like it. It's because it doesn't have a pair of tits.
That's not true. It's because it's too popular.
Oh my god, too popular. Says the ex-mystic.
This is why... everyone that I ever argue with is always like, well, you should play blah, blah, blah class so you could see for yourself. And then they regret it because then I play the class and I realize it's OP as shit. Which, by the way, Tamer's grade is going way up. I'm sorry, Tamers, but the grade is going way, way up soon. This class is ridiculously good in so many ways, in so many parts of the game. No, dude, I mean, Ninja's awesome. I don't know. It's just, I don't think it's me. That's nothing to do with it. I wish, dude, if I could pick a male Tamer, I would in a second. I think that'd be awesome. And a grown man with a bigger bow staff, because fuck, man. It's hilarious to me that my bow staff doesn't actually hit any of the mobs because it's too small. I'm not going to touch the PvE stuff, Piotr, or the PvP stuff, but yeah, dude, Archer's OP.
Yeah, Archer is OP. I don't know. Buffing Polly, it probably needs a buff. I don't know. I feel like Polly. Here's my issue. This is where I run into the issue of how they're turning the game versus how I think they should be turning the game. In my opinion, the layout of grind spots in this game should almost be like theme park-ish. So essentially, you start in Olvia, you're killing all these like level 1 to level 5 mobs. Maybe there's some elites here or there that are actually like really hard to kill. Maybe you have to party up or just fight them for a really long time. Obviously better to party up. And then you move into like Velia. And all the mobs around Velia, we're now looking at like, you know, level 10 mobs. You know, maybe you can find a level 20 elite here or there. Then you move into Serindia. And Serindia is where you find all of the like level 20 to like level 30 mobs, etc., right? And it just keeps going up as you kind of go on this adventure following the main storyline. That's how in my head it should be. Because in my head, I'm thinking, okay, why would somebody grind Polly's Forest? No matter what they do to it, they're not going to make Polly's Forest as good as Histria or Sacrea or even Ackman or Manchwams. So who are the people that Polly's Forest is going to be targeted for? Probably around 150 to 180 AP players. Okay, so why would somebody with 150 or 180 AP go to Polly's Forest, literally one of the farthest grind spots on the map, when they can travel east for like 5-10 minutes and grind Sawsons? Like,
I could tell you.
There's just there's no way.
There's a bunch of reasons. All right, so first of all, we know now how good Polly's Forest is because it's been in Korea for a while, or for this week, and there's a couple videos of it now, but people are getting anywhere from 70 to 90 mil with a loot scroll.
That is not true.
I swear, dude. So it's way better than Gaha. I mean, I guess Gaha's you can maybe get that too if you're like super RNG carried and on a elite rotation, but it's actually really good. The other thing, you can't get Kaffir stones at Sawsons. And Sawsons is gated so heavily by weight and maids and all that, and Polly's Forest is like 0.10 LT trash, you know?
I just don't, like, dude, horses exist. Like...
Yeah, but horses, even on a horse, you can't stack 3 weighted items.
No, but you can stack 2. Like...
Right, but Sawsons gives 3 plus a bunch of armor.
Dude, I don't know. Like,
dude, so I promise Sawson, like we'll see it all next week, but
I don't know how
on Wednesday,
I don't know how you kids could have survived back in my day before maids even existed. Like,
well, no, they wouldn't have, right? I mean, they would have, I guess, but back in your day, everyone was happy making 9 mil an hour.
I mean, you find ways around it, right? Oh, what do I do about all this trash? Oh, I don't know. How about you get a wagon, like the rest of the people that grinded Sawsons back in the day? Like, yeah, wagons are basically useless. Like, nobody really gives a shit about them unless they're rolling for trade EXP.
Were wagons fun?
No, they weren't.
No,
nothing in this game is fun except for killing people.
Stop.
Killing people and successful enchants. The only 2 entertaining things in this game.
Polly's Forest is about to be good, and I think it's good that they have a bunch of different grind spots that are going to be good. Options, man.
No, I think so too. I think more in-game options, the better. But yeah, I just don't. If it is actually that broken, they're gonna nerf it really fast. Like, there's no way.
That was with a loot scroll, right? Like, so you'd normally be getting like, I don't know, 30 to 40 mil an hour if you're really efficient. Also, the guy that was doing
that makes it as good as Manchwams. I don't know if I believe that they're gonna leave it to be as good as Manchwams.
But the guy that was doing it was like 280 or 275 with Kudum, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
And an Archer.
And an Archer.
I'm just saying, it looks like it's going to be as good, probably a little bit better than Gaha's. Yeah. Which is cool, because the AP rec is 190, which is actually, I think, higher than Gaha's. Gaha's only 140.
Is it? It's that low?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
That's what it says on the map, anyway. Or maybe it's 160 for Poly. It's one of them, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway.
I think, listen, if they actually, like, I actually think if they left it at that amount of money, it would be fine. And then what they should do is, like, actually make it a little bit harder. Maybe bring it down like just a tiny bit, maybe like 60 mil, 70 mil. What are people making a Secrea?
God, with the loot scroll, like that same dude at Secrea, he has videos, I don't know, probably like 120 mil.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I was probably thinking around 100 mil. So maybe bring it down a little bit, make it a tiny bit harder, and make it like a Manchom spot, basically. Like, that would be good. I would actually enjoy that. I don't think that's what they're going to do. I doubt it.
No, they're leaving it. It's dope. It's dope as it is, man. Go blow up mushrooms.
Yeah.
Go pop those mushroom caps.
I don't know. We'll see. I can't imagine them leaving it like that. I don't know. Maybe they will.
It was with, he got exactly 80. The dude Kimmo got exactly 86 mil with a loot scroll.
Apparently, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, apparently they changed Fadu's and it's still bad.
It's still bad. Yeah, I tested it extensively. I think Fatus for them is like alternative to Basham base, maybe. It's kind of like that.
But Basham sucks.
I know, exactly. But I think because Basham's so paper, like, Fatus is still so paper. It's like, you only need like 110 AP to be there.
Yeah. Basham's is actually hella good if you want EXP and literally nothing else. Like, Basham's is actually pretty decent if you're like 56, like 57, 58 for EXP. Anyway, we gotta move on. We got fucking million more comments to go through. Skylar C, 3 different comments. I know I'm late, just wanted to point out in the tier list you guys had Musa and Archer have the same grades per category, but overall Archer ranked higher than Musa. Musa Archer in 1v1A, Musa Archer in PvES, even though y'all are smoking good shit if you think Archer is better than Musa at anywhere other than Akhman, and Nodeware's A. Also, Mystic wasn't far off from those either. Guess y'all just get smacked by Archers, even though Rez's class counters Archer. Hashtag don't feel bad for Zerks. Just talking shit, love the stream, the podcast. Don't flame me too hard. Okay, so yeah, with the tier list, right, you have to keep in mind that we only have like so much room, right? Because we only have, I think it was 5 categories where we could place things. So, yes, we placed Archer and Musa in the same categories for, their 3 things, but they're not the same. That's the you have to,
for very different reasons.
Yeah, you have to realize with that tier list, because we don't have, like, we could make another tier list with like literally a million things that we could place it as and give you exactly where we would put shit, like from 1 to 100. Like we could just do A to Z like 5 times or 4 times, whatever it would be. And, you could get the most clear picture ever of where we're placing things and why we're placing it. But that is A, bothersome, and B, a lot of work for not a lot of reward. Like, nobody cares. It's way easier to just set up 4 or 5 things that you set it as S, A, B, C, and D, 5. And then you say, okay, well, Archer is A tier at 1v1. Musa, well, maybe it's a little bit better than Archer in 1v1, but it's definitely not S tier where I put Berserker. So yeah, it's going in A tier as well. Archer is insanely good at grinding. Musa is also insanely good at grinding. Which one of them is higher? Well, we both think that they're S, so we just have to both put them in S because we can't put one of them at A with these other classes. That just doesn't make sense. You have to make concessions.
I also want to point out Musa's like God tier at Manchums and below, but Archer is Skylassy way better than Musa at Secrea, at Histria, at at Star's End, and yeah, probably at Ash Forest when that's out too. So
yeah, Musa's probably better at Shrooms though. I'd put money on it.
Yeah, I could see that. So maybe that 87 mil an hour will be 100 mil an hour with Musa.
Yeah, but that's just the thing you got to keep in mind, right? Like the less like tiers that you have on a tier list, the more that you have to put things in the same list that are not the exact same power, right? So you just have to kind of keep that in mind when you're watching tier list videos in general that, don't have a ton of different tiers. Like if we had 10 tiers instead of 5, it would have looked a lot better. I'm not counting the pluses, by the way, because we couldn't assign pluses. Skylar C also says, how do you guys feel about tamers on dream horses hogging all of Arsha spots outside of Akban Histria? Seems like an exploit almost. Me and my Musa friend, who are both soft cap, couldn't kill or even knock this one tamer off his horse at Hex. Don't know if you've heard of Android 18, but apparently there's a few Reddit posts about him and tamers on horses and how unfair and exploity it is.
Yeah, I don't know if exploit is the right word, because it's not really an exploit, but I mean, man, just the horses in general are... I guess I just wish there was a mechanic to knock them off, or maybe more skills designated with like a tooltip that says like this skill when hit successfully will knock a player off its horse, or something along those lines, because yeah, it's definitely a problem. And yes, I know Android 18 very, very, very well from Gauze. Dude, I fucking hate that guy, but I respect him immensely.
And then last comment, he says, why is Archer relevant in BSL? Is it because of the trial gear? Also, does Striker, Mystic, natural defenses matter against magic classes like DK, Witch, Wiz, even at higher AP? I don't know. I don't know who's trying to sell you that snake oil, but Archer is not irrelevant in BSL. Like,
yeah, it's not irrelevant, and also it's a newer class, right? Like, not everyone who is good at their class are really good at 1v1s and 2v2 and those types of tournaments just swapped over to Archer. Yeah. I mean, like, people forget just because a class is really strong doesn't mean every single person's going to play it. Like, you're going to get a lot, no offense to some people, but you're going to get a lot of bad people that roll to a class because it's good, and bad people are still going to lose to good people.
Yeah. So. Archer is fine in BSL. They're like mid-tier.
And we're not getting clapped by archers, right? I'm going to put that on there. He said that earlier.
Yeah, he did. Smacked by archers, yeah.
All right. I rolled off Kuno a while ago. I stopped getting clapped by archers, all right?
Also said Zerkers counter archers. I don't know if I really buy that. I guess at lower APs I buy that. The balance of Archer v Zerker shifts very, very, very heavily once the Archer gets like 273 AP. Yeah. Like, basically, if you're like 269 or below, Zerker should be able to win, like, probably like 70% of the time. And then once the Archer starts hitting, like, those insane APs, 273, 270, what is it, 7 is the next one after that, and then 281, like...
277, 201, yeah.
Yeah, and once they start hitting those AP, it's like, it's so impossible. Because Zerker has no iframes. They have 2. One of them doesn't work. The other one's while they're flying through the air, which is like 2 seconds and kind of a bitch to control. Yeah, so you're all super armors, which you just get burned through. And you get frontal guards, a couple of them, including your S block, that just gets instantly shredded. So, but I have a feeling that's like that for most classes. Warrior, it's probably the same. Warrior is probably like, yeah, you're going to win most of the time until you're fighting 281 AP archers that just destroy your block. Probably the same for like Valk, you know, a lot of those classes. So same thing for Zerker. Zek0 commented. Not going to read it because it's just Frosty on his alt account. Just every week, just got a comment now.
What? What's it say?
I don't know, Frosty. Why don't you tell me what did you type? He said, another good week for you, Rezlar. However, don't think we can so easily forget those times when you looped some trash-ass League of Paladins game on a BDO podcast. What are you commenting on this one, Frosty? Tell me.
I like that comment very much.
I can
Dude,
tell.
By the way, I'm just because I don't have to think, I'm at Basildon. You know how they did that respawn rate doubled? And I know it's going to end or whatever. They decided to make that only an event, in quotes. I don't know if you saw that today.
What?
Everyone's all up in arms about. Yeah, the double respawn rate at all these grind spots apparently is going to go away on this upcoming patch.
That sucks.
Yeah, but at Basildon, it's fucking awesome because, like, the one big room that has a ton of mobs, you can just do that room, go outside, clear the other room, and then loop back, and it's already respawned. It's so nice.
Huh. Oh, damn, I just forgot what I was going to say. I was going to ask something, and then I forgot. Sunny Bloop says, great podcast as usual. Keep it up. Thanks. Appreciate it, man. Super hyped for the Shy. Curious to see the direction the game will go. So am I. To touch on the Trinity thing, it'd be interesting to see classes like Valk Warrior and Mystic Striker get some valuable quote-unquote frontline capabilities. That would then start giving us more quote-unquote Trinity-type system. We already have Witch Wizard providing some support buffs along with the Shy now. Even if it just applies to PvE, super hyped for the new PvE content too. BDO needs more difficult PvE, not just mobs that have a lot of health and tons of CC either. Give us mini bosses, interesting grind spots with mechanics, farmable scrolls that add new boss monsters that require a coordinated party / platoon, etc. This is a huge step in the right direction. Also, yes, more Ocean content hype.
Yeah, I think I said how I feel about the Trinity thing. I don't think it's like super important for BDO, but I do still think those classes you mentioned becoming tanky for Node War and Siege would be nice.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep shilling for my idea till the day I die. Add some sort of tree passive where people can go one of two different specs. That way, damage warriors can be damaged and they'll be dog shit in Node Wars. And people that like Node Wars as a warrior can pick the tank spec. Maybe they gain, maybe whenever you do that, something else happens. Like you get another like super armor or something. Like
they already have that in game, dude. It's called Bencho's Necklace.
Bencho's Necklace, brother. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just going to keep shilling for that till the day I die. Because that is, in my like 4 years of playing BDO, that's the best shit that's ever came out of my mouth. So I'm just going to keep saying it until it happens or I quit playing this game. No, even after I quit playing this game, I'm going to comment on Reddit. After I no longer play this game, I'm still going to log in on Reddit. I'm going to talk about how shit the game is and how they can make it better.
Yeah, when someone says something you don't like, you reply, LOL, idiot. That's why I stopped playing 2 years ago.
Exactly. Sphero says, another good week. Jackie was a fun guest. He was. He had a lot of interesting things to say. I wish he could have hung out a little bit longer with us, but time travelers, man. It's weird. Ronnie FC07 says, yo, the fact that Dark Knight is never discussed in anything means they are not the best, but nowhere near the bottom of the ladder, ? And is that a good thing? Also, does a mid-game strength matter in this game? Love the podcast. Thanks, man. Dark Knight is, yeah, they're kind of in the middle-ish, maybe more towards the bottom. I don't remember where we put them in the tier list, but...
We put them low.
Yeah, I think we put them towards the bottom, but not at the bottom. So yeah, that's why they're not referenced too much. Is that a good thing? You could argue. I mean, being in the spotlight isn't fun, right? If you're an archer right now, you're not having a ton of fun in terms of the community because everyone's shitting on you. It's kind of not as much, but it's kind of the same thing if you're a Zerker, a witch, or a wizard, right? You're always under fire from like every direction because everybody's got something to say. And then if you're at the bottom end of the ladder, things suck because most of the people around you, and this is why I really like people like Nyashi, where his class isn't very good, unfortunately, but he takes a positive look at things and he enjoys it no matter what, you know, even if other people are super negative. But that's tend to be what happens, right? When classes are not as good as other classes, there's a lot of negativity, people complain a lot, you know, it's just kind of what happens. So I don't know, but yeah, being in the middle is probably better than being on either end of the spectrum, honestly.
I will also point out, my name is Q from DK. While he's pretty down on DK negative, he still sticks to it and practices, and that's why he's super well known, because he is so damn good at that class.
Also, does mid-game strength matter in this game? Not really, no.
Mid-game strength in what sense? I mean,
I'm guessing he's talking about, like, 220 AP to, like, old soft cap. Like, right. I mean, yeah. I guess if you're doing T1 Node Wars, it matters. Outside of that, no, not really.
Yeah, if you're in that group, I mean, no, I don't. It does, obviously, but like not really. I don't know. No, aren't people like that? Probably. I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, obviously, the people are important and the balance, but you're really only in that area for a short time nowadays, especially since you could buy everything. So it's like, balancing specifically around that, I don't think would be good, but yeah. That's just me.
Manny G says, thanks for the show. Appreciate the variety and how each week you look at a different class. I'm a very new player, so a lot of what you discuss is future for me. My selfish request is to mix in some beginner topics once in a while. Thanks again, and do not pod fade. I need this info. Peace, Manny G. Yeah, we're going to try to do that today specifically, Manny. We're going to try and talk about some things We specifically are gonna try and talk about things that are maybe helpful to newer players. Can't promise like one a week or, you know, like that we'll do this very often, but this has to be a little bit shorter of a podcast. So we're gonna go over a couple things that we think might be helpful for somebody that's kind of new to the game. Duns says, aren't they just shifting the imbalance to another area once everyone is good in PvE? People pick and invest in a class because they want to focus on specific aspects of the game. After a while, everything will just end up being a homogenized mess. I almost said homo. Homogenized mess, with everyone being the same at everything except one Flair of the Month class that is overall slightly better at one thing than everyone else, aka the WoW effect. Also, I need that Achman copy pasta, good sirs, and shout out to Piotr for hitting him up with it. Frosty?
Next question.
Why next question? What? Answer this man's question.
All right. I was being griefed, so I missed most of the question.
Aren't they just shifting the imbalance to another area once everyone is good in PvE?
No, I mean, I guess that's where the focus will be, but right? That's what everyone focuses on, what they're bad at. So yeah, I guess, but it's not like, no, I don't know. Well, if some balance changes like the evasion buff affect PvP, then I guess to a larger extent, yes, but
and then also after a while, everything will just end up a homogenized mess with everyone being the same at everything except for one class. That's a little bit better, aka the WoW effect.
Well, yeah, and I guess I don't have a problem with that though, really, because you also can just be better than the people you're playing against or with.
Oof. Yeah,
that's not an oof. I mean, like, I don't know if like
you just told this man be better. That's an oof for me, brother.
If the worst case scenario is that everyone's class is equal in strength in all aspects of the game, then like that's not that horrible. I mean, then you just get good at your class and get to kill everyone else, right? If you're better than them. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So it's always difficult to talk about like what's going to happen in the future with any sort of certainty, right? Here's the thing, right? Out of every stupid argument I've heard over the years in regards to BDO, making everybody relatively the same in PvE makes like the most sense. I still think it's stupid, and I don't believe in it, and I think it's not the case. I believe that it should be different. Different classes should be good at different spots. Maybe you make different classes good at different spots, but have the same amount of money. Like, I don't know. I just don't think everybody should be exactly the same in terms of PvE, but I understand where the argument's coming from, and I can see people's point with it. Again, my issue is the idea that it might go further than that. I do not want everything to become a homogenized mess, rather. But I doubt it will ever become that. And here's why, right? This game is just too complex. There's too many cogs in the wheel of this game's like class system and how things work for everybody to be even close to exactly the same at everything. Like, there's just no way. You just can't change enough numbers in the skills. And you can't apply enough protections or take away enough CCs to make every class the same at everything. Now, you can try, and that would be bad for the game, in my opinion, and that's what I'm afraid of. But I don't think it'll ever get that far. That's like some cataclysmic shit right there. If it ever becomes like that, that would be like insane.
Yeah, even if that's their goal and they're working their hardest to do it, it's just, there are 16 classes right now. There's about to be a 17th, and that one's like focused on support. There's just like no way it could ever happen. Also, the meta changes, like we've said with the Zerker, the meta changes even without balance updates sometimes. So it's like, no, it's just impossible. There's no way it'll ever be all the same.
And also shout out to WoW Classic coming out in 2 months. Hype as fuck.
Dead game.
Dead game, dude. That's gonna be the most popular WoW has been since launch. What do you mean? Dude, I am so looking forward. Listen, here's the thing, right? We're going to talk about this another day, because this is going to get into a really long argument.
You're looking forward to one week of playing a game you already played before, and then it's going to be old.
It's not that, man. This is going to have to go for another day. Next weekend, maybe. Nyashi says, LOL, that donkey wall mount. I agree with Rezlar's pick your own skills and build your character idea. You have your template skills and use skill add-ons to give them CC or protection. Yeah, it's not that hard.
That would be awesome.
I'm surprised nobody's thought of that yet over at Prolibus, but they're too busy counting their money. Black Spirit Season 1 no stamina cost, Season 2 half cooldown time, Season 3 double cooldown time, Season 4 no heals, Season 5 no DP, LOL. And before Shy ganks you and spams do it better, the Shy abuse continues, and her awakening will probably be a musical instrument and she can put people to sleep Jigglypuff style. Also says, oh my god, that statistic about mystics is such a dumb fucking clueless attempt at trying to understand a class's state. If I just chase around and only target 1v1 where they aren't looking at me, of course my KD ratio will be better, lol. Doesn't mean I was effective, doesn't mean it was fun, doesn't mean people will want to play that way. 41 fucking players with top gear played the class out of 100. 41 out of 100 play 1 out of 15 classes. 1 is 41% of top gear. Here's your motherfucking sign. Alright, rant over. I'm calm now.
Wait, I feel like you guys are literally saying the same thing, though. That is why they said that second stat. Because that's why they're addressing the PvE stuff. I think they're over. I mean, it was confusing the way they worded it, but I interpreted it as them saying, look, in PvP, for the amount of complaining that class gets, that it's not as strong as people think. And obviously, I don't know what they're going to show us, right? There's nothing really they can give us that's going to satisfy anyone anyway. So they gave like KDs or whatever, which... Again, like, let's be honest, that's all anyone in this game cares about. So it's actually funny that people hate that that's what they said. But two, I think that they were saying, like, 41% of the class, or of the top geared people are mystics, and that it's not necessarily because of its strength in Node War or Siege, but more because of how good it was at grinding. And because or its skill effects, or it could be a number of things, but because it was so popular, people complain about it more because they run into it so often. But I think, honestly, once all the PvP changes are in place, that won't necessarily be the case. That's just how I interpreted it, and I think that that's what they were saying.
Yeah, also, we know Shy's awakening weapon. It's a fucking guitar.
Yeah, you were literally on point. It's a ukulele.
Oh my god, right? Whatever.
And it's hardly a musical instrument. No offense, uke players. All right?
Uke players. Lost Souls says, I still play, but my PC been down for like 4 weeks because of RAM. Shy will probably open the game to raids and dungeons, seeing it's a support class. Back on the PvE bus for Ninja, I don't mind at all. I will play a class for its style and not its power in PvP or PvE.
You're one of the few.
I hope we see more like raids and dungeons and stuff. That would be cool, I think. Yeah. More traditional style like PvE stuff. Austin Lassiter says, what game is Rezlar playing? Did they upgrade Terra's graphics? Get it? Because the Shy. Mm-hmm. The Shy is the lolly. Bro, what were they called in Terra?
He was playing Breath of the Wild.
What were they called in Terra? I'm trying to remember.
The little...
Ellen.
Ellen, right.
Yeah,
There's Pappy too, right? Or Papu or whatever was the little bear.
No,
the bears.
it wasn't called Papu. Papu was a mob, I think, in BDO. What were
No, it's not Popo or Poppy?
Popo?
I don't remember.
I think it might have been Popo. I don't remember. Yeah, the little furries. Yeah, they had lollies and furries in that game, man. They were fucking crazy.
The little panda bear priests, dude, that thing was dope.
Terra 2 win. That's all I'm saying.
Seriously.
Also, no race or gender lock in that game, which was like, I took that for granted. Honestly,
there was a race lock. You couldn't be a mystic on anything. Remember?
Oh, really?
You couldn't be any of the races. There were like 5 races, and there was like a subset of like 3 classes could be was designated to like each of the race. So like for example, Mystic could be like one of two things, and then the Priest could be either the big fat guy, the middle guy, or the bottom guy. It was like that. It was a little bit separated. You had more options, but it was like kind of segregated.
See, I never even touched Priest, so I never knew that. The only thing that I knew was Reapers. Reapers were Ellen exclusive for some reason.
After my time, I quit before that came out.
Yeah, that's the only one that I know of. I think they've come out with more classes. Maybe they continued that trend and started race and gender locking everything. That would suck, actually, because I really liked how, like, well, I thought that there was no race or gender locking or anything like that. But, because I loved seeing, I just remembered seeing, I gotta look up the name of that race now. Hold on, Terra Furry Race. Because now it's gonna bother me that I can't think of it. No, that's not it. Where? Why can I not find, all I see, Popori. It was Popori.
Okay, we were kind of close.
Popore, Popori. I don't know how to say that, but, I remembered, like, one of my first times loading up in a Terra, I saw a Popori Berserker, which in that game, Berserker had the giant, or no, sorry, not Berserker, Slayer. Slayer had, in that game, has a giant greatsword, and like, it was scaled down like a little bit, but it was still a giant greatsword on like this little fox thing. I was like, oh my god, that looks amazing.
Yeah, I know, I love that too, that the small characters saw the huge weapon.
Yeah, like it wasn't scaled down that much. Like, it's hard to picture it, but like, imagine you have this giant, like, almost, like, orc-like guy character, and he has these giant, like, greatsword, right? Now, you take a character who's, like, an eighth of that size, and you only scale down the sword by, like, a half. It's hilarious. It's so good. Anyway, that was the last comment. We're done with comments. So, moving on to the topics. As I mentioned with, I already forgot his name. What was his name? Manny G. Manny G's comment. We're going to try to talk about some stuff that might be helpful for newer players. You may have already gotten past the stuff that we've talked about, or you may have, or maybe you don't give a shit, but yeah, we try to come up with some things that might be helpful for new players. So first, we want to talk about questing, because here's the thing about questing, right? Like, I feel like a lot of people say, yeah, quest till you get enhancement and then go grind. Like, quest until you get the ability to enhance on that character, aka kill Red Nose, I believe, is where you can start enhancing with your Black Spirit, and then just go grind. And there is so many, like, rewards and good rewards that you get from questing. So Frosty was coming up with all of the different items. Do you have like a list, Frosty?
Yeah, so I actually just found this reference. I'm trying to find, I think this is it's a Kama quest, it looks like, for the ring. But anyway,
oh, the Mark of Ruin that you were talking about?
Yeah, so it's actually called, I had it wrong. It's called Ring of Power. And
Ring of Power.
It's 11 AP. I don't even know if you can get 2. If you can, I think you have to probably do the quest on 2 different characters. But it's a Kama quest, level 58, Kama 2 quest called Healing Light, I think. But yeah, so that is one of the things. So there's just a bunch of items, like when you're brand new and you're going through the game, that like free items that are actually really good until you've been playing for a while. And one of those is the Ring of Power, which is a Kama questline ring. Grana Oath Earring you get also from Kama Sylvan Quest, I believe, finishing number 2. Let me double check and make sure that that is right.
Yeah, and it's number 2, because number 1 you get Voltara Crystal.
Right, you get the Voltara Crystal. Yeah. So, and that one's 8 AP, has some accuracy, and it also has, if you grab the other, although the other accessories kind of suck, so that's relevant. Yeah. The Voltara Crystal is another one. If you finish Kama 1, you get a really nice crystal for your offhand that gives 150 HP, 5 AP, and Kama Sylvan damage. If you don't play with or don't feel like you need that, it's still a lot of silver, and you can sell it.
But keep in mind, to do the Kama quest line, you actually do need like a decent amount of AP. Like, that quest line's like kind of hard to do if you don't have a ton of AP.
Yeah.
So if you don't have a lot of AP, then either just hold off on it, or you can maybe if you're like in a guild, you can team up with some people and go tackle it together. Because that would be really hard to do alone if you were below like 240 with Nuver. I like how I'm talking about new players and then assuming that they have Nuver, by the way.
Yeah.
If you're below 240 with whatever AP offhand you have, you're gonna struggle to do that quest line.
Asula said, I can't remember. I have a box that gives me one of every Asula piece. I don't remember how I got that. Is there a quest that gives that, or was that a reward for something?
I've never heard of such a thing. I think they just recently. I think I remembered reading this, that they just implemented some quest that gives you a try of like whatever version you want. I've never heard of that though. The box that gives you one of everything.
I think it was one of those like, I think it was a login reward or something one day. I don't know.
Yeah. But so Asula, not a quest reward, but really, really, really good. And you get those from killing all the different mobs in Medaya, which is to the left of Balanos, or sorry, to the right of Balanos, and Serendia to the east before you hit the desert. And whenever you get one of them, you can actually, if you read the description towards the bottom of the description of one of the Asula set pieces, it actually tells you where you get all of the pieces, the belt, the necklace, the earrings, and the rings. It tells you exactly where you can grind for it. I think there's 2 grind spots for every piece. Really, really good set. Don't bother upgrading it. Do not. Like, that's a waste.
I agree. It's a waste. I mean, I guess you could go pry if you have a bunch of extras from grinding. But outside of that, it's not worth stacks.
Yeah, it's just not worth it. Just don't bother. You're better off if you get weakened pieces, great, sell them. They sell for like 120k. Like it's actually a nice little chunk of money when you're a new player. So just get the Asula set and then sell all your weakened pieces.
And similar to Kama, if you have a friend or someone that can help you with the Dragon questline, you get 2 Whom crystals for that. And Whom are endgame crystals that are really good that you'll use literally forever. Although I don't necessarily recommend putting in your gear yet if you have any chance of dying to mobs.
If I was recommending something to a new player and they completed Dragon and they got 2 Whom crystals, I think I might be tempted to tell them to sell it, actually.
To buy gear, because you could just get more later. Yeah.
I would probably say sell the Whom crystals. If you do Dragon, you get these crystals. I think they're selling for like 80 mil, maybe? Last time I checked.
The base ones now are like down to 30, and the Hans are 80.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah.
Damn, they went down a lot. See, I lost a Whom a while back, and I had to buy one, and they were like 80 mil for the base. I was like, what the fuck? I should have just waited. I should have waited a couple months, dude. Damn, I got screwed.
Right. And then for finishing, I believe Valencia 2, you get the normal Awakened Spirit Crystal, which is worth less. Also a decent crystal, not a huge deal if you lose it. And then your favorite, for fail stacks,
Valencia 1.
Yeah, Valencia 1 questline. So, I actually haven't even done it 4 stacks yet.
So here's the thing. Valencia 1 questline, you don't even need that much AP for it. That's the crazy thing about it. I think the only mobs, or the hardest mobs rather, that you kill, I'm trying to think. I think the hardest mobs that you'll run across
are Basham, isn't it?
I know you don't go to Bashams. I think you don't even have to kill them, but you have to run through them as basilisks. But basilisks are so slow, you can actually run right past them, run straight to the NPC, complete the quest, and take the new one, and then get out of there before they even hit you.
Right.
Like, Valencia 1 is literally just running to NPCs for, like, a couple hours, and you get, like, 150 stack, I think, like, 2 or 3, like, 30 stacks, and then, like, 5 20 stacks. It is insane the amount of fail stacks you get for completing Valencia 1. And if you haven't done it already, then you seriously should go out and do it, because you get so much from it. If you've done Valencia 1 before, just get on another character that's level 60. Just get like some like trash weapons. We're talking like pry weapons. And just run around and just go do it real quick. Because if you've done it before, it takes even less time. It takes like, you can do it in like 2 hours if you're not paying attention. You can knock it out in an hour if you're tryharding it.
Yeah. And the value of a single 50 stack alone is worth like 1.5 hours, 2 hours, just straight up in raw silver.
It's insane. I actually think it might be a 40, but you can valk it to 50. So
no, it's a one of the rewards is definitely a 50.
it is a 50. I couldn't remember. It's been a while since I did it.
Wait, now I'm doubting myself.
I did it on all 3 of my level 60 plus characters as soon as I heard about it. So it's been a while since I've done it. I can't remember.
Okay, I'm looking at it. It's a 50. Yeah,
it is a 50.
Stack.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. And listen, if you're a new player, you have that 50 stack. Do not use that on anything other than a tri-yellow accessory, ogre ring, not Ronin's, ogre ring, crescent ring, whatever. Tet Witch is also fine, or Tet Gear, because that is invaluable. You're gonna get. Here's the thing about BDO, right? When you're a new player, you get frustrated, right? You're trying to enhance your Grunel, and it just ain't going. And you're like, damn, dude, I got this 50 burning a hole in my pocket. I bet you it goes through instantly. And you know what? It probably will. And then guess what? You don't have a 50 to upgrade something to Tet, or to get that Crescent Ring that you got from like a duo. You got a duo from a boss because you got really lucky, and you could bump it to Tri, but now you don't have that stack anymore. Stacks are invaluable. Do not rage enhance, and do not sad enhance. Don't get depressed and blow up all your gear.
Sad enhance.
Seriously. That's the number one advice that I can give to people. Don't rage enhance, and then don't get depressed and enhance. If you want to quit the game, quit the game. Don't blow up everything you own and then quit the game. Because you know what? Like, a good probably 70% of the population that quote-unquote quits this game comes back in 6 months. What are you going to come back to? Are you going to come back to that duo that you couldn't upgrade to Tri? Are you going to upgrade starting from literally scratch because you threw away everything in the trash? What do you want to come back to? Seriously. Like, that's the number one advice I can give the new people. This game's frustrating, man, but don't let it get that frustrating. Just don't, because it's going to hurt you in the long run. Anyway, rant over. Continue.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's like kind of for the basic, for the actual items. Yeah. But questing itself is important for a couple things. Every time you level up a character and go through Calpheon questline, they reworked Medaya. I haven't gotten to do it since they reworked it. I'm going to here soon.
I think it's still trash. I think I heard that somewhere.
The rewards are?
I think so. I think I heard that even after the rework, Medaya questline is still not worth it, actually.
Yeah. So Calpheon, though, you get CP, which you need to connect nodes and hire workers and get a house in a town and all that stuff, so you can level up nodes with energy.
Yep.
And you get inventory slots for finishing that quest, free inventory slots for that specific character. And I think by the end of it, you get like 20, somewhere between 25 and 30 inventory slots, which is awesome because that alone would normally be like 3,600 pearls.
Yeah.
So that's worth doing. And you get skill points. And the skill points are super helpful because early on you need a shitload of skill points, and it sucks trying to grind skill points. Granted, if you're leveling up kind of properly and not getting boosted, then you kind of get skill points as you level, but even still you gain EXP so fast that you get like 40 skill points for finishing Calpheon, or 45. It's a nice little boost, and it doesn't affect your actual skill point level. So if the soft cap where you start going from 3 skill points to 1 is at 1,600 or whatever it is, and you got 40 skill points from the questline, then the soft cap doesn't hit you until 1,640. So
yeah. So 3 quest lines you should do on every character. If you're a new player or an old player, doesn't matter. 3 quest lines you should always do on like every character. Main storyline, i.e. Balanos, Serendia, Calpheon. Get a ton of SP, get a ton of CP, and you get a good amount of inventory slots. Super, super useful. Then you go Valencia. Part 1. Don't do part 2. Part 2 isn't worth it. And that goes for new players too. Don't do part 2. Listen, once you get the crystal, stop there. Don't do part 2. It's not worth it, I promise you. Unless you actually enjoy questing. At the end of part 2, you get a ring. It's equivalent of a Primarch, I believe, which might be useful for new players, but the quest you have to do in part 2 is some of the most annoying quests in the entire game. Do Valencia part 1 and then stop. Then Dragon. Do Dragon part 1 and part 2. Whom crystals are super worth, especially if you're a new player. Even if you're a veteran player, you can turn them into Han crystals super easily and then sell them on the market for 80 mil. So,
yeah, and Dragon is so short. Like, you can finish Dragon really quick.
Dragon's questline, if you're able to actually kill the mobs, i.e. Shere Khan, super fast questline. So, if you're a veteran player, always do Dragon. If you're a new player, maybe hold off on Dragon if you don't have the AP to do the Shere Khan stuff that you have to do. But once you get enough AP, definitely go do that because it's a nice little boon in your money. Even if only, a little bit of money and a little bit of time. Very little time consumption compared to the reward that you get out of that. So it's really nice. Anyway, yeah, I think that's it for that, I believe.
I mean, just pointing out CP, energy, and beer, like that sort of stuff. So if you cook, learn how to make beer. Even if you don't want to cook, it's a really nice AFK activity to do early on. I promise you, it's way more valuable than AFK fishing, and it's very easy to make beer. There's a bunch of guides, but you don't need a lot to make beer. It's very, very easy. So just make beer. The thing is when you cook and you make beer, even if you just sell the beer, you're not actually using it. You get what is it called? Like the ancillary crap. Yeah, the byproducts that you get. Yeah. You can turn in for CP, and until you're like 280 or 300 CP, it levels up really, really quickly. So make beer or cook in general if you do Imperial or whatever. I don't know if it's worth it yet. They're going to be buffing it down the road, but beer is really quick. It's definitely worth making, and then down the road you can AFK fish or whatever you want to do. So that, discover every node, kill every mob in every region as you're strong enough to do so that way you get S knowledge on everything. Just having knowledge on everything gives you energy. And talk to every NPC that you can talk to. It's worth it. The energy is nice.
So the life skills thing. Here's the thing about life skills. They can get very overwhelming very quickly. So if you are wanting to get into life skills, I suggest picking one and then focusing in on that. Because Masters of all trades is that's okay. Go for it if that's your thing. But it's very easy to get overwhelmed with all of the information that's in this game. So I suggest starting with one that's relatively easy. Notice I'm saying relatively. Do cooking. Do probably not alchemy. I feel like alchemy is pretty simple too. Do alchemy or cooking. Those are pretty simple, honestly. Yeah, and just take it slow. There's no need for you to try and be Blade Book quests on your first week of BDO. Take it slow, figure it out, take your time, and don't get, overwhelmed by all the different shit that's going on in this game. As far as exploration goes, explore everything. If there's a dark spot on your map, go explore it. That's energy that you don't have. You can bring up your energy by pressing H, I believe. Just go through your ecology and see what you don't have. Oh, here's this random bird in Calpheon that I didn't kill, and or I don't have energy on. And if I just go get knowledge on it, then I get another energy out of it. That's literally a 5-minute trip, and if you're lucky, 10 minutes of killing this bird to get an energy that'll be forever. So super useful, super useful.
I don't know why the sentence "killing this bird" is funny to me.
And the new PvE stuff requires 120 energy. So if you're interested in doing that new PvE stuff, Altar of Blood, then be very useful to have a lot of energy.
So before I get to the grind spots, I also want to mention this is completely new, but the Igor Bartali adventure log and Rulipi's travel log. So Rulipi's just basically happens by default by completing quests. So the more quests you complete, you get rewards. It's really nice. It's random little things like LT, it's family-wide HP, stamina, and then eventually you can get a really fat stack. If you finish 4,400 quests, you get a free 100 stack. Igor Bartali is a bunch of other stuff too. You get a permanent fail stack. Wait, is the permanent fail stack Rupees? I think you get one
no.
free. No, it's Igor. Okay, so Igor Bartali, you get 2 fail stacks, I believe. 2 permanent fail stacks if you finish all 10.
No,
but you also,
it's still just one.
How do you get the second fail stack?
I think we don't have that yet in NA. I'm pretty sure that's to 15.
We have the second one.
Do we?
I haven't finished it yet, but we have the second one is in game for sure.
I've completed 10 and I only have +1 on my shit. So maybe it's one in Relupies.
Maybe it is. I'm gonna look real quick.
Because I haven't done a lot of quests, so
yeah, maybe you need a shitload. I don't remember. Oh yeah, 4,921 gives you an enhancement chance. The second one.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Yeah. And then Igor Bartali gives you free DP and sheet AP, which is early on, it's not going to feel like a big deal because your AP and DP goes up so quick by enhancing new gear. But down the road, it's a massive difference because you start going from getting an upgrade every day or every 2 days to once a week to once every 3 weeks to now like I have like 278 AP, and for me, like my upgrades are like 4 to 8 weeks in between each other. So yeah, the sheet AP is super nice. 3, I think you get 3. Is it 3 in our current setup or 2?
I think it's 3. Pretty sure.
Yeah, and then a couple DP. So yeah, do those as well. And they're actually really easy. And the guide, like if you follow the guide, it's actually so stupid easy. The only annoying thing is enhancing Asulas to try. You have to enhance one piece of Asulas to try. It tells you which one. And then the Quint and Maraca, which I don't know. I think it still dies on the weekend. I'm pretty sure it doesn't die during the week anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, so definitely check out the Bartali's adventure log because it's got a lot of useful shit in there. And it also takes you on a fun little adventure. It kind of makes you explore the game. It's kind of cool.
Makes you try little things that you wouldn't have done, like process something, hunt something, whatever, that sort of thing. It's kind of cool. All right, so someone posted this. The timing was kind of interesting because we had talked about putting up or just talking about newbie stuff. And we'll get to the more fun stuff like mistakes we've made in a second. But I want to real quick go over these grind spots for different gear levels. So someone posted this. His name is A Canadian Noob. He actually put this up yesterday. And it's literally what he describes as a crude list of grind spots, prioritizing money for newer players and people having a hard time picking the grind spot. And it's really cool because he goes through, I recommend going on Reddit and just finding him. His username is A Canadian Noob, spelled Noob, all one word. So if you find him, you could see the post to at least reference it. But yeah, it goes literally all the way from like 100 AP, killing elite monsters in Calpheon, how much money you can make per hour. He talks about like helms between 100 and 150 AP. You can make 25 mil an hour, up to 30 mil an hour. He even goes over stuff like Sawsons and how it's gated by maids and weight. So if you don't have high tier pets and maids and weight and stuff, he kind of talks about that and places that are better. So yeah, go check that out. If you're a noob, it'll help a lot with kind of knowing. There's so much I see on Reddit like 3 or 4 times a day. Hey, I just reached X bracket. Where do I grind? And it's a valid question because there's really not a lot of references that you can look up. If you have friends, they can tell you, right? So everyone that answers it thinks it's really stupid to see that question. Yep. But if you're new, it's a completely valid question because it's like a hard thing to just search for. So this is a really good reference for that. It breaks it down all the way from 100 AP all the way up to 245 with Kudum, and he talks about how that's kind of your starting out. Maybe you can do Ackman and History and Mancham. So yeah.
Off the top of my head, and this is just leveling. I think it went main storyline till you kill Red Nose, then go to the wheat plantation south of Heidel. Then go to the Bloody Monastery, kill those guys until like level like 30, I think. Then go to Karudos and Calpheon till you're like 40, I think. Or no, 30.
This is like if you're power leveling yourself, right?
Yeah, basically. Power leveling, yeah. So you go to Karudos at like 35, I think it was actually. and then you go to Abandoned Lands, north of Calpheon, northwest. Abandoned Lands till 42, I believe. And then Chimeras until 48, I believe. And then Catfish until 50. Then as soon as you hit 50, you could also go to 51, because 50 to 51 is actually not too terrible. You could do that at Catfish. 50 or 51, then you go to Helms. You do Helms until basically like 56, unless you have enough AP to go Gahaz. Like, you can just stay at Helms if you're low AP. Sawsons isn't that good for EXP. I would recommend Bashim's, actually.
Crazy. Sawson's good for... I guess it does not have Marnie Stones. But...
Yeah. If you have enough AP to grind Helms, you probably have enough AP to grind Bashim's. Probably. So I would actually say, once you get your Awakening, you can probably go straight to Bashim's.
Or you do it like I do. I usually just do the quest. I hate mindlessly grinding those spots, personally. I'd rather do the quest, and then by the time I'm done with the quest, I'll go to Helms or whatever.
What, the Medallion one?
Calpheon. I'll do Calpheon questline, and then by the time Calpheon questline is done, I'll go to Helms or whatever. I thought
you were talking about that quest in Medallia that like gives you a whole level at like 50 something. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah,
the Three Otters quest.
Yeah, isn't it tedious as hell though? It's like so easy to get a level.
So here's the thing, right? It's actually, if you're like relatively low like level in your low 50s, it's actually like kind of worth it, because you're grinding at spots that aren't too terrible for you for EXP anyway. Like, it forces you to go to Elric's, Helms, Abandoned Iron Mines, and Wandering Rogues, which are all like not bad places to grind at anyway. But yeah, you have to go grind like 500 Helms, 500 Elric's, 500 Abandoned Iron Mines, and then like 500 Rogues. And then you get like a whole level basically on top of whatever you grinded. But yeah, that's a quest that you can do. I think you have to have all quests enabled on your quest tab. Hey, there's a little tip for new players. Make sure you have all quests enabled on your quest tab. When you press O to open your quest log, at the bottom, the little things that are highlighted, you need to make sure they're all highlighted, because the game by default only has like one quest highlighted. So you're not getting like every option for quests that you should be.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's Grind Spots.
Yeah, find that on Reddit. I mean, we could put a link. I'll put the link here in our little conversation, and then I guess you can link it.
I'll put it in the description.
Yeah. And then, so you want to talk about mistakes?
Yeah, so I was thinking, like, everybody's made mistakes, right, whenever they're playing this game. And I was thinking, like, the one, like, the probably, like, the biggest mistake that you made, like, in your head, like, when you think back on your BDO career, what do you think is the biggest mistake that you've made in BDO that you can tell somebody so that they don't do it next time, you know?
All right, so this is kind of it was tandem mistakes.
Okay.
So I was looking through the market and I saw Liverto Amulet when I was trying to level up a Sork. I think I was like level 50. I just hit level 56. So I was like, okay, I want to get this amulet. And in my head, I had like no AP. I probably had like 78 AP. And I told myself, I'm just going to save up and buy a tri-amulet. I'm not going to enhance or anything. I'm just going to save up, try to buy a tri-amulet. And so the first mistake was wanting a Liverto. The second mistake was that...
Yeah, hold up, real quick. Let's make something clear for the new players. Mid-tier items are garbage. Lemuria, Akum, Liverto, it's all bad. Do not, under any circumstances, invest anything into these items. Just go straight from green, your Yuria weapons, your whatever your green AP offhand is, your Grunel or your Rokaba or your Heave. Just go straight from that to boss gear. Do not buy blue grade armor and weapons. It is a very, very, very poor investment. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, I mean, there might have been a time, but now it's just too easy to buy boss gear with silver that it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
To do like a Coom or whatever.
We actually looked it up before because we were talking about it, and I looked it up before. So I was comparing a Tri-Akum helmet and a Tri-Grunal helmet. Non-ultimate, by the way, Frosty. I forgot to mention that because you can't get ultimate anymore on the marketplace. The Akum barely, and I mean barely, edged out the Grunal helmet at Tri, and it was literally almost 3 times the cost. Right. So it's just not worth it.
Yeah, sorry. Before I continue with my story, another thing is don't try to enhance a weapon with Kaphra stones. It's a really, really inefficient way to enhance, because I know a Kaphra stone, if you get to tier 20 on a Tri, it guarantees going to Tet. It's way cheaper to get Tet literally any other way than that way. So don't do that way. All right, so on to my story. So my goal was to get a Liverdo amulet, and I'm going to explain why I regret getting that anyway down the road, because there were a lot of people that used Liverdo back when I started. But from my experience in playing other MMOs, I thought that grinding mobs that were difficult to fight would be kind of the best thing that I could do. So I had like 70 AP, and I went to Soldier's Grave, which, if anyone knows who's played back then or is starting new characters, Soldier's Grave compared to Sassen's or Helm's is really hard, because A, the mobs hit harder and they just take way longer to kill, plus that spot is just kind of wonky. So I spent like 3 weeks grinding Soldier's Grave to get enough silver to buy a Liverdo amulet, which I upgraded like 3 weeks later to a Zarka. And then that Tri-Liverdo amulet at the time, I had it. It was sitting on buy for like half a year before someone bought it.
Jesus.
And at the time, like 270 mil or whatever the min price was like way too much for a Tri-Liverdo. And it was like, so it just sat. There was like 70 Tri-Liverdo amulets sitting on the market. So what I ended up doing, because it wouldn't sell, I took it off the market, I did a attempt on it, and sold it at Duo. Oh, it was so depressing, man. I felt like I lost so much money. Like, I was making like, even like when I was grinding efficiently, in quotes, it was only like 19 mil an hour. So to lose like 150 mil on that was just, it was rough.
Yeah, I can imagine. Jesus.
Yeah, so that's one of my stories. What about you? What's one of the big mistakes you've made?
So, I think you've heard this story before, Frosty, because Mina loves talking about it. I'm going to give you the moral of the story first, and then I'll give you the story. Do not build into alternative builds, i.e. DP build, for example, until you are soft cap. Just don't do it. Do not do it to yourself. Okay, here's the story, right? Be me, be guy who doesn't get upgrades because doesn't play the game aside from No Wars. Think 220 AP, like 310 DP, I think. They're like 320 DP offhand, because fuck it, why not? Yeah, and then decide, hey, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go a full DP build, because that sounds like a fun idea. Well, how do I go full DP build? Well, I could slowly get things over time, but fuck that. I want to be a DP build now. Okay, how do I make a bunch of money now? Well, I have this Tri-Ogre that I enhanced a couple months ago.
This breaks my heart.
I can just sell that and then get a bunch of DP stuff. Go and guild Discord. Hey guys, is this a stupid idea? Yeah, that's a really bad idea. You shouldn't do that. Okay. Decides to do it anyway. Buys a bunch of DP accessories, has fun for like 2 weeks, and then after 2 weeks is like, I regret this horribly. This was the worst decision I've probably ever made in my entire life.
Were you still on Warrior when you did this?
I was. Okay. I was a Warrior.
So I think that you thought... Now, I understand the logic here. You thought, all right, they removed Lingering Super Armor. Enough DP will give me back Lingering Super Armor. Am I close?
No, this was before that. This was before that. Yeah, this was before the CC changes. Here's my thought process. I was shot calling at the time, and I wasn't really getting a lot of kills anyway. Most of the time I was sitting there holding block. So I was like, yeah, I'll just go DP build, and then, you know, I don't have to, I'll live longer, and I don't have to care. And it backfired for multiple reasons. Here's the number one thing that kind of sucked whenever you go a DP build and you're a shot caller. You're almost always the last one to res. Like, almost always. Now, the reason that's a bad thing, first of all, you have to tell people where to go instead of showing them, because you can't ping on the map or anything. So you either have to rely on everybody to know what you're talking about. Hopefully you've set a preset rally point, or you have to rely on some other doofus, like some sort of, I don't know, the douchebag officer named Mina to like rally everybody together and wait for you. Yeah, it's a pain. It's also a pain because they're literally waiting on you, and that's never a good feeling. Because it's not like, you know, oh, Jimmy, we don't have Jimmy, so we have to wait on Jimmy to get here before we go push in. Like, nobody cares about Jimmy, right? Jimmy will get here when he gets here, and if we're all dead, then he can just go and die, and then he'll just be off the timer. Screw it, you know? Jimmy needs to catch back up. But when you're the shot caller, you're like, fuck, I gotta get there, everybody's waiting on me. It's just the worst feeling in the world, dude. It actually is just the worst feeling in the world. Also, my other issue was that money that I sold my Tri-Ogre for, it literally netted me like 3 DP accessories, like 3 or 4. It wasn't even like a full set.
Dude, all right, so just for a little bit of timeline, this was like right after we met. Like, we had known each other for a little bit of time. So I remember this happening like very, very vividly, because when it first happened and you weren't like logged in, and dude, I was so against this whole idea too. It actually upset me when I heard it, but it did give life to the meme that I literally just started telling people. Did you guys hear what Rezlar did? And they're like, what? And I'm like, he sold a Tri-Ogre so he could buy a Tri-Bencho's neck.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man. Dude, I was so sad.
Did that happen after I met you? I thought that was before.
No. That was after we met. But
so
it
the
was
CC
very
changes
early on.
Must have happened then.
Yeah, well,
right?
So you and I met, and the CC changes happened like 3 weeks after we met. Yeah. It was seriously like 3 weeks after we met. It was really quick.
My timeline's all messed up. I can't think of the past. It was
traumatizing time for you, because it's going to be hard for you to remember. I mean, first you lost your lingering super armor, you lost your AP, and you lost your will to live, basically.
Yeah. And then, you know what? I found my savior. His name was Berserker, and never looked back.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I went Wizard after that. I did. Yeah, I went Wizard after that.
You were shot calling with us on your Wizard for a while.
I remembered being a Wizard when the CC change happened. And I remember looking at Warriors and being like, sucks for you, idiots!
Oh, man. That was rough. Do you have any enhancing fails that you regret?
Don't enhance while tired. That's the moral of the story. The story is, be me, be enhancing 2 a.m., tired as shit. Not paying attention to what character I'm on, deciding to enhance horse gear. What up, it's your boy burning 120 stack on +4 horse gear.
Yeah. The sad thing is I did this recently.
Yeah, that was a couple months ago.
I was changing my belt. I had a Tri-Tungrad belt. I was building DP. I kind of wanted to go evasion, and I had just gotten like my first pen armor piece and whatever. So I was going to switch to Tet Orkenrad belt and sell my Tri-Tungrad belt, and then that would give me, I don't know, I think it was worth like 4 bill at the time, maybe 5. And then that would kind of put me towards my next upgrade or whatever, right? Money towards my next thing. And then I just was like, should I go for Tet? Because if that sells, I'll get like 14 bill. Yeah. And I went for Tet, that shit failed, and I felt miserable for like a week. I was just like, dude, I literally just lost 4 bill for literally no reason. Like, for nothing. For nothing, dude. I was so sad.
I thought you were going to talk about when you meant to sell an item, and then you accidentally bought one.
Yeah, that's not really, I just didn't know how the new market worked. I was in the wrong tab. Yeah, so I bought that actually happened right around the same time, like within 3 days or 4 days. So I had a rough stretch, yeah. First of all, I was RNG carried. I was grinding history, and I got a duo Tungrad neck straight drop from an Elton. And it was like, I felt like elated. It was like fucking nuts. I was like, holy shit. Like, I am so RNG carried. This is instantly 1.2 bill. Fuck yeah. And I go look at the price, and I think like the max you could list it for was 1.35. So I listed it for max, waited like a day, came back, and the min price had kind of dropped a little bit, and there was like 7 necks up. So I was like, well, fuck. Like, I kind of wanted to sell now, but I was going to be patient, so I waited another day. The next day, there's 11 Duo Tungrad necks up, and the price now, min price dropped down to 1.1. So I was like, fuck it. Like, I'm just going to take this off and buy, or take this off and sell it at min price, just get my bill right now and be done. And then I took it off, and I can't remember what I did. Like, something happened. Like, I left the marketplace, came back, and then I was like, all right, I'm going to list it for min price. And when I went to list it, instead of listing it for min price, I accidentally bought one at min price. And so now I'm sitting there with 2 Duo Tungrad necks, neither that will sell. And I was like, oh my fucking God. Dude, I was super depressed because now there goes all the profit that I would have gotten from that upgrade or that drop. So then I'm being patient. I was like, if these both sell at max price, like 1.3 down the road, like it's not going to be that big a deal. So I'll just list them at max and I'll wait. And like 6 days later, the min price is still going down and more necks are being listed. And I'm just like, holy shit. So I look at the try price, and tries are like 3 bill. And I was like, you know what? I literally only need one of these to go and I'll profit. Like, I'll be back to where I was at. So I'm good. I grab a 60 stack. I Valk it. I think it was a 57, and I Valk it to 67. I hit the first one, it fails. I hit the second one, it fails, and now I have nothing. I was so depressed, dude. I was just like, oh, this cannot be happening. I was so pissed, dude. My stomach like dropped. I'm like, dude, that is like 7 billion silver I just lost between the Tungrad belt and the 2 Tungrad necks. Like, I cannot believe this is happening to me.
Hey, and then, yo, grats on the 69 stack though, brother.
Yeah, right? Dude, so I do not recommend gambling. There are some people that can do it, and whatever, more power to them, aka fuck those guys. But for the rest of us, man, like, gambling is not worth it. If you can get guaranteed silver and it's significant, just get your guaranteed silver. Yeah, that shit sucked, man. That's seriously, it was like 7 bill.
All right, last story, and this isn't even BDO related, but I want to tell you guys the story of my second MMO ever. And the first MMO where I played by myself, i.e. I wasn't being led around by my cousin who was just doing everything for me, and I was just along for the ride. So playing RuneScape, like early 2000s, I'm like, I don't know, probably 8 years old, 10 years old, something like that. Playing RuneScape, load up into the world, dude, this is awesome, there's a ton of people, like this, that, and the other. Go outside the castle, run into this person named Man. For some reason, when I hover my cursor over Man, it says that I can attack him. I'm like, dude, hell yeah. Like, I get to attack this person. Let's go. So I attack him and I kill him. And I was like, oh, dude, I just murdered somebody. Like, holy shit. Like, you know, I played EQOA, EverQuest Online Adventures, on the PS2, but I didn't really do, like, any PvP, basically. So I was like, dude, that was like, that's crazy. I killed somebody. So I leave and I do a couple quests and I come back and the Man is sitting there again. He's just chilling. And I walk up to him and I'm like, hey, sorry for killing you earlier, dude. Or I said something to that effect. And he didn't say anything. And I was like, is this guy not going to say anything? And I was like, I apologized to him. He's not saying anything. So you know what? I killed him again. And then this time I felt really bad. So I didn't see him again, so I left and I came back later and he was there again. I was like, great, he's here. So I tried to give him, me with my ultimate wisdom, having played for like 2 hours at this time, I started giving him advice. I was like, listen, if you want to be good at this game, you got to like click the different attacks, because in RuneScape you had like different ways to attack. I had no idea what they meant. but I was acting like I did. I was like, you gotta click this one, and you gotta click that one, and like this, that, and the other. And he wasn't saying anything, and I was like, dude, why is this guy not talking to me? I'm giving him advice, he isn't saying anything. So I was just asking him, I was like, how come you aren't talking to me? Like, this is how you type. I literally gave him instructions on how to type on a keyboard. And then it was about 5 minutes of me talking to this person named Man when I realized that Man was an NPC just standing outside the castle. And I had literally, I had spent probably 20 minutes total talking to an NPC. All these in, I believe it's called like Lufkin or something. I can't remember the main city of RuneScape, but all these players just walking by me like, why is this guy talking to this NPC?
Oh my god, that's so funny. He was probably your best friend in that game too.
Dude, when I realized it was an NPC, I instantly logged out. I didn't play again for like a month. I was like, I can't touch that game again. Like, if I go back, they're gonna have legends. They're gonna be like, yo, what's up with that one guy who was talking to that NPC?
Oh my god. What? How old were you when this happened?
I was probably like, there's no way I was older than 10. Like, no way I was older than 10. Because this happened in, like, the early 2000s. I was born in 95. So, I mean, at the youngest, I was, like, 6 or 7 was, I think, when I started, like, playing video games. I was probably, like, 8 to 10, somewhere in that range. Right. But, yeah, like, I struggled to grasp the concept of an MMO, because the only one that I played before that was EQOA. But I didn't do anything in EQOA. Like, I was just being led around by my cousin and his friends, who were in middle school at the time. And I was just, like, following them around, basically. I didn't even attack things, really, in that game. I just followed them around, and I liked the fact that I looked cool. I was like, yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's, there's nothing to take away from that story other than, yeah, I was being a retard, so... No moral of the story there. All right, we're done. Frosty, you got anything for the peoples?
Yeah, we got a lot of views or a lot more views. So let's keep that trend going. Spread the word. Drop the video in Discord. Share it with people. Talk about it in your guild. If you like it, please spread the word. I'm trying to refrain from posting on Reddit unless we have a guest generally. But if we have a guest 2 weeks in a row, then I'll wait. So we don't get a lot. It's hard basically to get new people outside of people randomly searching it. So yeah, share it with your Discord, spread the word, get more people listening. Comment, please comment. We love reading the comments and going through it. Even if Small Dick Stole Your Girl hates Rezlar, those are also awesome.
Yo,
so
what up?
keep them coming. Keep them coming. Also, no, that's it. That's all of it.
I think I want to start doing a thing where I want to ask you guys, you people that are listening, a question. I might start doing that. I want to ask you guys a question. Here's my question. What's the most embarrassing thing you've ever done in an MMO? Or not even an MMO. Video game in general. Hit me up with that. I just told you guys that's top 5 things. Like, that moment where I realized I was talking to the NPC man. That's top 5 cringiest moments of all time for me. Like, that is one of the most embarrassing things ever. I want you guys to share the most embarrassing thing you've ever done in a video game.
That's such a good one, though.
By the way, further down the line was when I first got a PC, and I had to ask people how to crouch. I literally asked in chat, I said, how do I crouch in this game? Playing, I think it was Gary's mod.
Yeah,
I got laughed at.
I had to ask that in Team Fortress and Counter-Strike, because the first games I played were StarCraft and Diablo, so... I had no idea what I was doing. So
drop a comment. If you drop a comment, Frosty will like it, because I just recently realized that he's been liking every single comment that people leave. So, you know, that's the thing, I guess. So yeah, drop a comment. Let us know what your most embarrassing moment in gaming, in your gaming history has been. And yeah, guys, we'll catch you next week. Thanks for listening.